So now we've talked to the students about atoms and kind of gave them a little description of what they are and the fact that atoms can come together to make things, but we never really described what those things are. And so now we're going to jump into molecules. Now molecules are what happens when two or more atoms come together. Now they can be different atoms or they can be similar types of atoms. So we can have like two oxygen atoms that come together to form an oxygen, O2 molecule we say. Or we can have different types of carbon atom and a couple of oxygen atoms that come together to form something else. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this idea of atoms coming together and joining up, and we're going to have the students now make some atoms. Now what they're going to do is they are going to use marshmallows as a representative of our atoms. Before we talked about letters, now we're going to use marshmallows. So what we have here are these campfire different colored mini marshmallows, and in here there are different colored marshmallows. What we're going to do is we are going to use this chart up here, this one right here, and we are going to make different types of molecules. What we're going to do though is we're going to kind of do it in an orderly fashion. We are going to make sure that the students are making them according to color. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our pink marshmallows are going to be our hydrogen, our yellow marshmallows are going to be our oxygen, and our green marshmallows are going to be our carbon atoms. And what they're going to do is they're going to follow this chart and see if they can make some atoms. Now what I did is I made a couple simple atoms. So right here I have yellow marshmallow and a couple of pink marshmallows. So I'm sorry, a couple pink marshmallows. So one of the things you're going to find out from the students, and I'm kind of guilty of it, is I'm colorblind. So kind of when I do this activity, it's really hard for me to actually make these molecules. So you might want to have the students work in pairs, but you'll find out pretty quickly if you have students that are colorblind, because you'll have kind of all these crazy colored molecules. So what I did is I have my water molecule here, so one oxygen, two hydrogen, and then I also made a carbon dioxide. So I have two oxygen and one carbon. And what you're going to do, and you can have your students do, is actually go through this list and see how many of those molecules they can make. Now the hard one is going to be the sugar down there at the bottom, the glucose, just because that's going to require a lot of different a lot of the marshmallows. But still, out of all these different molecules, we're only using 3 types of atoms. So you can kind of refer back to the cup activity that we did and make sure that they understand that when we talk about atoms and molecules, one of the things that makes the big difference is how they come together. Not the simple fact that it's atoms or oxygen and carbon atoms, but it's how those oxygen and how those carbon atoms come together. That's what's really going to make a difference, and also the quantity. All right, so go ahead and start on that, and I'm going to give you a few minutes, and I want you to see how many of those molecules that you can make. All right, go ahead and get going.
Give it actually in the spot.